Welcome to Western classical arts traditions. Even before humans learned to read and write, they were already artists, as manifested by the different archaeological discoveries from the different parts of the world. Each and every civilization of the world has its distinct art forms, depending on its aesthetic and utilitarian needs. Prehistoric art is classified into three periods, such as Paleolithic or Old Stone Age, Mesolithic or Middle Stone Age, and Neolithic, the New Stone Age eras. Egyptian civilization was one of the early civilizations that greatly contributed in the development of art, religion, science, and technology of the world. Egyptian art is said to be religious in nature. Ancient Greek art depicts naturalism. They portray human forms in a realistic and anatomically precise manner. Their art has conservative form with a very complex detail. Roman art developed as a new source of artistic creativity, much more progressive than the conservative Greek art. The diversity of its form and its variety inspired a modern attitude in art. Byzantine art was purposely made to glorify the Christian religion and to express its mystery. It is filled with spiritual symbolism and illustrates a love of splendor. It was a combination of Eastern or decorative art forms and classical Western art or naturalistic art. Romanesque art was characterized by its vigorous style in painting and sculpture, lavishly decorated manuscripts, and retained many basic features of Roman architectural styles. It was also greatly influenced by Byzantine art with a highly innovative and coherent style. Prehistoric era. Paintings were found inside the caves and believed to be their way of communicating with each other. It may also be for religious or for ceremonial purposes and more of an artifact of the archaeological evidence than a true picture of humans' first created art. Prehistoric drawings showed animals that were usually correct in proportion. Sculptures were believed to be a product or result of natural erosion and not of human artistry according to archaeologists. Materials used in sculptures vary according to region and locality, while carving may have mythological or religious significance. Architectures from the early age developed a form based on megaliths, or a big rock, from the Greek word lithos meaning stone and megas meaning big. Although these structures that survived from prehistory might not be what we would normally think of as architecture, but these buildings still inspire awe today. Through the mysteries of their meaning, the intricacy or scale of their design, or the ingenuity of their construction. Ancient Egypt. Paintings were believed to make the deceased life place pleasant, giving importance of life after death and the preservation of knowledge of the past. Most paintings were stylized, symbolic, and shows profile view of an animal or a person with themes that included the journey of the deceased gods to the underworld. The main colors used in this period were red, black, blue, gold, and green, derived from mineral pigments that can withstand strong sunlight without fading. Sculptures were believed to have symbolic elements, such as forms, hieroglyphics, relative size, location, materials, color, action, and gestures were widely used. Their tomb required the most extensive use of sculpture. Characteristics includes symbolism, to represent the gods were composite creature with animal heads on human body. Relief compositions were arranged in horizontal lines to record an event or represent an action. Most of the time, the gods were shown larger than humans. The kings are larger than the followers, and the dead larger than the living. Empty spaces were filled with figures of hieroglyphics, and all individual components were all brought to the plane of representation and laid out like writing. Architectures were developed during the pre-dynastic period of 4000 BC. Characteristics of Egyptian architecture includes thick sloping walls with few openings to obtain stability. Exterior and interior walls, along with the columns and piers, were covered with hieroglyphics and pictorial frescoes with carvings painted in brilliant color. Ornamentations were symbolic like scarab or sacred beetle, solar disk, vulture, and common motifs such as palm leaves, buds, lotus flower, and papyrus plants. And temples were aligned with astronomically significant events, with precise measurements like solstices wherein the sun appears to stand still on the first day of winter, and equinox wherein a time or date when day and night are of equal length.